Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Josh, and this will be a random rant about random things. Kind of like, what do we want out of life? But I was just listening to this Manly Hall lecture, and as I was working outside, and the guy's got some, amazing ideas and some great notions about ideals, about how things should be, could be, would be. But he's also rational enough to know that, or he was rather rational enough to know that idealism isn't always the game of the day. It doesn't work. But we do have ideals of how we want to live life and how we think the world should be. I was going to play part of the lecture, but then my MP3 player kind of cut off and started over right when I went to touch it, so it must be a sign to just not bother. um, I could basically sum it up, I guess, but, you know, I guess it led me to some of my own thoughts about who we are, and I've been thinking about what we want out of life, and what do we really want, and do we ever know? I mean, some of us seem to know what we want out of life. Some of us are content to just live life. My life has not been, I guess I could say it's been a charmed life, but it hasn't been an easy life. It's not like I've had anything handed to me, really, except I've been very lucky with my decisions. I have a great family, and that's the most important thing to me. The rest of it's just, I've been, whatever. It's nothing compared to family. But it kind of leads me to think, what exactly do we want to leave in this world after we die, And it seems that it's been a driving force for how many people live their lives. They want to be recognized. They want to have their work remembered. And this is what's led so many people to, especially rich people who have the money, to build these ridiculous monstrosities in order to hope that people will remember them by what they created or put into the world. Like many of the ancient monuments that were, they may have been built for communication or various other uses, as people claim, spiritual places, but a lot of them merely were built for the beauty of them, because they're left behind, and each person who helped contribute to that society and those carvings contributed a little part to that society, and is remembered till today. Even though as an individual they're not remembered, the work that they left behind is remembered. And that kind of leads me to think about, my wife and I were talking about how the rich people, how a lot of people like to contribute to charities, but when rich people do it, quite often they will hold these large parties, extravagant parties, in order to kind of disguise a charity, or rather disguise a fun event as a charity, whereas it's for the people as much as anyone else. It got me thinking about how those who have made the largest donations in history to help society or to rebuild or have done it anonymously. So this shows that it's not always in human nature to want to be recognized. It's not always in human nature to think that we have to be seen or noticed. Many people are out there, and people with a lot of money too, who are very humble and who give tremendous amounts to help society, but don't ask for anything in return. We tend to notice the ones that are greedy. We always notice those who withhold. We don't tend to notice as much of those who give. It just seems to be the human nature. We pick out the negative. And when I see this in society, I think that it's sad. This is kind of in a long way how I draw my conclusion to say that society is not so flawed. It's not so destroyed. We're not such damaged people that we can't, make something out of it, and maybe repair our nature. It's a matter of agreeing upon what that nature is. I don't know. But what do we want to leave as individuals to our society? I personally don't know what I want to leave behind except for a better world. And I think that's, if you want to put a metaphor to it, it's kind of like when you go out to the woods and, pack it in, pack it out. But the rule isn't just pack it in, pack it out. It's always leave the woods cleaner than you found them. So if you see extra garbage, pick it up. And that's my metaphor for life. Like, you're just going to go along, you're going to do your normal duties in life, but you'll come upon an opportunity to make it better. And you can take that opportunity, or you can ignore that piece of garbage. Now, I bet every one of you have been to the park sometime, where you're walking along and you pick up a couple, I mean, maybe you haven't, but for those who have picked up garbage at the park, I try to. To what degree do you pick it up? I mean, you know, okay, I'll pick up this and this and this. Oh, but that one's a few feet extra. Oh, that one's a little too small. Oh, that's a cigarette butt, I don't want to touch it. Oh, this could have diseases. You know, the excuses that we make for how, and it's okay, it's just the limits that we go to. Like, this is as much as I'm going to give. And you can't just give all the time, or it becomes an attachment to that feeling you get when you give. And I guess it's hard for me to explain. It's kind of a Buddhist idea, a principle that, you know, even if you give up everything in life, even if you become non-attached to all your items, you become attached to non-attachment. So there's really no escape from the human nature of addiction or compulsion or wanting something different. So this leads me to the grass being greener on the other side. How many couples have gotten divorced because they think that they're going to find someone better, or they think they're missing out on some other life, when in fact they had the perfect person with them, you know, but they just couldn't get over each other's differences. By getting over those differences, we're leaving something, we're leaving an impression upon our state children as to how to get over and resolve our differences. Everything we do leaves an impact, is what I'm getting at. There's no waste of time in life, as long as you're trying your hardest and doing what you can with what you have. We all have different resources. Each one of you, many of you live in different countries. I have no idea what it's like over there. Different governments, different systems. And but ultimately we all have one big system, at least the internet system, where we can communicate these thoughts. And you know, many of the myths of how the rest of the world is have been dispelled through having the internet, which has shown me that people aren't all volatile and hateful. People really want to help. It's just that those who do don't want the recognition. At least some of them don't. And so I hope that people can kind of see that. The point I'm trying to make, which is, it's okay to be humble, but we all know we're going to die, and we all want to leave something behind. I guess that's all I can say about that. Just hopefully we leave something behind. If we can't leave something physical, then maybe we can leave a mental impact on the world. As for my videos, you know, I ramble on about random nonsense. I get about one comment a month maybe where somebody says that my videos help them in some way. That is enough for me to keep going, because I like to see people get a boost, especially a positivity boost. It has nothing to do with my ego or me trying to say, ha-ha, because I'm not speaking anything that people believe or don't believe. It's just like, hey, this is what I think about life. And so when people say things like that, it makes me, you know, I realize that not everybody grasps the whole, I mean, we all grasp life differently, and we all approach it differently. Sometimes I learn a lot from one person. Sometimes I go for a long time without learning anything from anybody, but amidst this, we're all kind of learning together, and I think we all want to leave a slight impact. As to what that is, I guess that's up to you as an individual. I guess that's about all I got. I could go on, but I won't. Take care, everybody.